filed against Lorraine Badoy and also to Lorraine Badoy. Okay? Siguro ang unang tanong ko po, Mr. Chairman, si Attorney Tolentino po ba yung attorney rin or counsel po ni Lorraine Badoy sa lahat ng kaso?
No, Mr. Chair. I've only engaged with respect to this hearing, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So thank you po no. Siguro for the for the information ng ating committee, ira-rundown ko lang po yung ilan sa mga red tagging na ni Lorraine Badoy no, na nakasampa na ngayon doon sa iba't ibang mga complaint na in relation din po doon kay Representative Pimentel last time. So nung April 9 about kay Maria Ressa, yung April 19, 2022, this administrative complaint filed by the Office of the Ombudsman, violation of Section 4A of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards over malicious and defamatory posts and articles against journalists. So Ressa listed as at least 9 instances when Badoy branded her as an enemy of the state using his verified Facebook page or through official websites. So Badoy had also falsely declared Rappler as an ally and mouthpiece of the CPP-NPA. So ito po yung isang kaso. Pamilyar po ba kayo doon sa program?
I have no personal knowledge with respect to that case, Mr. Chair.
So wala kayong no? So next, Mr. Chair, another one, Mr. Chair, yung former Kabataan Representative Sara Elago. On December 7, 2022, this is also an administrative complaint, violation of Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials and employees against 6 officials of NTF-ELCAC, including Badoy, filed with the Ombudsman. Badoy and other officials were charged and committed grave misconduct for repeatedly claiming she was a communist rebel and accusing the Progressive Party List group of acting as a front organization for the CPP. So former Representative Elago argued 6 government officials were acting in official capacity and are guilty of malfeasance when they made claims against her. So ito rin po isa rin pong kaso. And then on December 4, 2020, ito po yung kaso ni Lorraine Badoy when she was still a spokesperson of the NTF-ELCAC. 2020 pa po yan. So December 4, 2020, by karapatan, criminal and administrative charges against Badoy, NSC, Hermones Esperon Jr., Antonio Parlade, and Mocha Uson for crime against humanity by persecution under 2009 law incorporating international humanitarian law. So Karapatan Secretary General Cristina Palabay said she and Karapatan had been persistently tagged as terrorist members or supporters of the CPP-NPA by the respondents. So yan, isa pa. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, so ito pong si Lorraine Badoy, talagang persistent, consistent po yung mga red tagging na ginagawa. Hindi lang po siya ngayon, sa nakalipas pa, even before ngayon na natin pinapatawag natin sila, no. So marami pa pong kaso. And then another case po sa Supreme Court, October 2022, various lawyers, judges, law practitioners, and their respective organizations. So, the Supreme Court, motu proprio, and the following numerous formal and informal complaints raised to its attention, ordered her to explain why he shouldn't be cited in contempt after her online rants against Judge Magdosa Malagar. Her rants were spurred by decision junking the government's petition to proscribe as terrorists the CPP-NPA. Magdosa Malagar said crimes alleged in the government petition were against the law but did not fall under the terrorism as defined in the HSA. So sinabi po dito sa isang kanyang programa, Mr. Chair, if I kill this judge and I do so out of my political belief, that all allies of the CPP, NPA, NDF must be killed because there is no difference in my mind between a member of the CPP, NPA, NDF and their friends, then please be lenient to me. She has also insinuated that Judge's husband, UP Cebu Chancellor Leo Malagar, has links to CPP, NPA and used to be communist cadre. And days prior, the SC also issued a stern warning against those who continue to incite violence against judges and their families. It said such action will be considered as contempt of court and will be dealt with accordingly. So, sinasabi natin, Mr. Chair, dito, yung about po dun sa mga red tagging. So, meron na po itong, meron na po itong jurisprudence na binanggit po ni Representative Manuel, at meron na rin po itong sa Supreme Court. Okay, yung tungkol po doon sa desisyon ng Supreme Court na sinulat po ni Justice Leonen. And isa pa po, last na po ito, Mr. Chair, yung Ibon Foundation, February 10, 2020, administrative complaint with the Ombudsman against Badoy, Parlade, and Esperon, further persistent attacks against and red tagging of progressive groups, which the policy research group said violated provisions of Code of Conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees, conduct grossly disgraceful of the public interest, unprofessional, unjust, and insincere political bias, unresponsive to the public, distorting nationalism and patriotism. So leading up to the complaint, Badoy, in an episode 1 News, the chief claimed that Ibon was part of the CPP instead of addressing Ibon's concern after in fact check numbers cited in the Duterte legacy campaign. So ito pa po yung mga madadagdag nating mga complaint at kaso po against dito kay Lorraine Badoy. So ang meron po akong ilang tanong po dito sa KBP. Nandiyan po ba ang KBP, Mr. Chair? Yes, meron pa po akong mga ilan pang question po. Ayun, sinabi ko lang po yung mga mga ilan pang mga kaso, Mr. Chair. So, ito ang kasi doon po sa mga binobroadcast po ng ni Lorraine Badoy at saka ni Eric ni Celis, ni Mr. Celis, tungkol doon sa kanilang mga pagsisinungaling, lying, unconfirmed na mga report. So gusto ko lang po sigurong matanong, maybe it's NTC, KBP, at saka kung meron din po dito yung MTRCB, Mr. Chair. So ang una pong tanong, bakit po di pwede ang mga side comments expressing personal opinion sa isang news program? So pwede po ba ang KBP na sumagot doon?
Mr. Chair, that provision was included in the Code of Ethics of KBP so that the public is not misled between a news and a commentary.
Yes.
So there should be at least a separator between a news item and a commentary, or the person on board specifies that that is a comment. As a disclosure, Mr. Chair, this provision is under review with the KBP because of the changing style of commentators and newscasters. But the important thing is there should be a distinction between a comment and a news item.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So isa pa pong tanong dun po sa tatlong agency natin kung sino po yung mga whether it is true or false, so pwede rin pong explain. So after airing information provided by a confidential source, quote unquote, an effort should be first made to look for a source who can identify or who can elaborate the information provided by the confidential source. So is it is it true or false po?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair?
May I be allowed to answer?
Yes, please.
It is good practice to have independent verification. In the verification of news from a informant, it should not be standalone. Ethics demand and good media practice demands that you make an independent verification from sources outside of the informant.
Thank you po sa KBP. And then ito rin po, no, true or false then, and explain. Rumors or gossips shall not be aired in guise of news, using terms like anonymous source, confidential source, or unknown source shall not justify the airing of rumors and gossips, especially in news program.
That's correct, Your Honors.